Rick Marks here, and I just wanted to discuss today around business continuity plans. And I talked about it before after the Optus outage, which had an impact on a lot of businesses. And I discussed previously, and I'll chuck a card up in the top for that. But it really gets me thinking about even the small businesses. If you don't have a backup plan or even just having a centralized document of where everything is sitting, and whether that is in a Google Drive or in the cloud somewhere or an external hard drive, in order for you to be able to essentially go get that and get back up and running. So a business continuity plan is different to a high availability, for instance, if you're familiar with the term. High availability just means it'll change over. So if your data's sitting in data center A and for whatever reason comms power go down on A, everything goes across to data center B and is up and running like almost immediately. There's probably a certain lag in there of time. That's high availability. And BCP, or a business continuity plan, or others call it a disaster recovery plan. I think a disaster recovery plan is a little bit more extreme than probably in just the word itself. But to continue business continuity plan, it might take you an hour in order for you to get whatever your redundancy is up and going and back into business. But it allows you to break through. So whenever we're thinking about BCP, and a lot of companies don't give it enough credit, and myself working in backups and restore and data protection, companies and people don't think about my team or my value until they need a restore. And then that's when backups matter, or that's when our data protection and all those elements come into play. But what a lot don't realize is business continuity. It could be a disaster, natural disaster, fire, rains, floods, etc. Or it could be something just as much as a power outage or a comms outage, as we saw with Optus. Now the problem becomes with Optus, no one knows for how long or what. And that's where, as a business, you have to work out, and I've talked about this in the previous video, around you assume it's out for the day. So either you've got to suck that loss up for the day and go, well, we'll close the doors and be done for the day. Or you've got to go, okay, we'll go and get, for instance, another SIM card with, say, Telstra or Vodafone or whoever or whatever, and get ourselves back up and running. And that might just be in regards to your point of sale or POS system. But having that plan means that as soon as these things happen, everybody can go straight to that document, your BCP, and they can review it and go, okay, so in this scenario, we've lost comms, we need to go and get SIM cards and whatever in order for us to get back up online. And these are the procedures. So BCP can vary in thickness and in depth, and it can come up with a number of different scenarios that you've got to work out what are more realistic and what are less realistic, but still have some plan in place. There's bombs dropping, and that's the scenario. And you've also got to work out what systems matter. A lot of our systems are auxiliary to the operation of our business. They're not requirements in order for us to be able to do business. They might be a luxury, they might be better. For instance, these days a POS that is linked into your Stripe or similar pay method, we don't really live in a cash society. So like Optus's outage hurt a lot of smaller businesses because they only had electronic fund POSs. Even people going to an ATMs were having comms issues because they were on the Optus network and therefore weren't able to connect up to allow people to take out money. So it kind of created a whole spiral, and there's a whole bunch of companies in here which makes you go, there's a lot of BCPs that we're all missing. Optus ideally should have had a BCP, and I know and I believe that the government's been working with them to trying to have agreements in place so that either Optus can switch over to like the Telstra B network or similar in order for clients to still get comms, and it will cost Optus money. However, it costs Optus a lot of money regardless, and it costs them integrity and more than just monetary value. But we all, as little businesses and stuff, all didn't have plans in place, because reality is there's a whole bunch of businesses that were hurt that day, and they could have been avoided because they could have had a plan in place and known. If you're self-employed, you could have made some ad hoc decisions on the fly and gone and gotten another SIM pack for a different supplier or whatever. You could have made those decisions. But for shops, for instance, that are part of a big brand, they can't just make those rush decisions and go, we need to get comms back up, so we'll just go and get SIMs and get ourselves online on the Telstra network or on the Vodafone network whilst that network's down. The power's not there for them. So yeah, if you haven't got a BCP, that's like not having a fire evacuation drill plan for your business. Yes, it might never happen. Yes, it might, but the reality is you need to have a plan, and practicing that plan every now and then as well is important, as for instance too. And that's something that I look to provide support to companies abroad in virtual aspects. But you create that hypothetical, you go, all right, blah's happened, what do we do? And get the people thinking about looking at the document, working out the plan, and going from there. So yes, it just dawned on me again, a lot of people don't have a BCP, they don't think about worst case, they don't even just, not worst case, like I say, you could be thinking about like World War III. It's a possibility, but what you need to think about is power outage, your data center goes down, corrupted hard drives. There's a lot of more real world examples where your business could be at jeopardy, and it could cost you considerable amounts of money have you not got a plan in place in the event that that occurs. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you like it, hit thumbs up, hit the subscribe, chuck comments if you've got stuff to contribute, and you'll see me tomorrow morning. Bye for now.